Welcome to Introduction to Sociology. My name is Matthew Irvin, and I am your course professor, facilitator for this course. I wanted to take a few minutes and go over the terms of the course, what you'll have to do, what the course expectations are, the syllabus, and so forth, so that you will have a clear picture of how to move ahead. Let's begin with the end in mind. So, basically, sociology is a study of humans and groups. We talk about an identity being individually or socially constructed, the difference between stereotypes and generalizations, the methodological tools, the scientific tools that we use to evaluate society, the relationship to society and social conditions. When you complete this course, you should be able to explain cultural beliefs and biases using a sociological lens, explain the influences that shape the creation of roles, draw basic connections between social inequalities and human behaviors, and understand the relationship between social change and contemporary social problems. I think let's begin by talking a little bit about grading. What you're going to need to do is to respond. Typically, you'll need to respond by Sunday at 11:59 p.m., whatever your standard time is for these assignments. Okay. Please know that I will have regular office hours, and you have the ability or the capacity to talk to me either over a telephone, a cell phone hookup, or through a video conference. I make myself available for that. So please keep this in mind, okay? Your grade distribution, you're going to have 6 discussions with 30 points each, 4 worksheets worth 45 points each, a final project. Now the final project is broken up into milestones and a concept map and paper. SNHU applies this standard, and I think it's useful, and in that if you do the milestones correctly, you will be able then to have the paper completed. Basically, you can combine the elements of the milestones into your final concept map and paper, and it shouldn't be any problem. It's kind of neat the way that works. So please keep that in mind. Okay. Down here, you have, of course, the grades system. Okay. And your topics and assignment for Module 1. Okay. Which we'll look at in a minute. We're going to be working with the real world and Introduction to Sociology, Chapter 1. Okay, we'll look at Module 1 in a moment. Okay, here are the other chapters, the other chapter materials from 1 through 8. Please refer. I'm not going to read them out loud. It would be very boring. Please refer to the attendance, late assignment, continuing education, and deadlines. Okay. Finally, there are a host of supports that you as a student at SNHU have. So please take a minute and review your resources that are available to you. Okay. So let's go look now at the table of contents. We want to hit the ground running, okay? I'm going to look at, let's go here and look at start here, okay? Basically, we have, here's the course syllabus. please take a moment and review the course syllabus. Again, it covers a lot of what I've just described here. Okay. Then, over here, let's click back on the Start Here link. We're going to go down and have the coursework overview chart. What this is going to do is kind of give you, this is going to read discussion, worksheet, and final project. It gives you the overview for the entire class, what's expected of you. Okay? So please take a minute and review this. Okay, over here we have the assignment guidelines and rubrics. Okay, so basically, and let me move this over here. Okay, if you look at each of these assignments, each of them are graded. I don't just grade them arbitrarily. They're graded with very specific rubrics in mind. And if you look at the rubrics as you work through the course, you're going to have a clear understanding of what you've got to do to succeed on an assignment. Let's take a look at a couple of these. But please review all of these on your own so that you can really hit the ground running. Here is a discussion rubric. I'm going to try to get this into a larger pattern here. Okay. You're graded on your discussions comprehension with a possible 40 points. Timeliness, again, the guidelines for discussion, and that's important, is this, okay, in terms of timeliness, okay, and then writing. The guidelines for discussions are important in terms of this, okay. What you must do, right, for any assignment, okay, but for discussions in particular, you must submit your initial post, and that is each discussion has a cue, and you're to respond to the cue by Thursday at 11:59 p.m. your time. Okay. Then between Thursday and Sunday, and you can do it earlier if you wish, you respond in a substantial way to 2 of your classmates. That way, they will have a chance to respond back to you. And your subsequent responses to your classmates are part of your grade. You have to, in other words, you have to provide an initial post for discussion. And then you have to respond to 2 of your classmates. This makes discussions unique and in this regard in relation to the other assignments. The other assignments that you have to do, you merely have to submit them by 11:59 p.m. your time on Sunday. Okay? So let's go back to the course manual again. Learning modules. And let's look at this first learning module. Okay? Start here. Okay? Well, this is start here. This is prior to the first learning module. Okay? So we have assignment guidelines and rubrics. You'll also be run through a Turnitin check. Turnitin is software to make sure that you aren't that people aren't copying work necessarily. That's a link here. You can please review that. And then the last thing we want to do is look at next steps. Once you've finished reviewing everything in Start Here, continue on to Module 1. So this is a lot of kind of front-loaded work here, but you're going to want to go to Module 1. Let's take a look at Module 1. Okay? Module 1, okay, the first thing you're going to do for this and every module, the first thing you're going to do is read this information and get started on your module. Let's click here and take a look. Okay. This is a great article, Why Would One Major in Sociology? Okay. So please, look over these materials. Read chapter 1 and read the associated article. Okay. Now we're back to module 1 again. Okay. We talked about C. Wright Mills, a great mid-20th century sociologist. And then you complete your first worksheet. Okay. Let's look over that. The purpose of this worksheet is to get you out into the real world, to think about the social world in a new way, and to have you switch your perspectives from that of a participant to that of an observer. So to complete this assignment, click on Module 1, Review Guidelines, and Rubric. Okay? What it's going to do is ask you to go out in the world and observe something and make some notes. Really cool work, eh? So please make sure you click through and you review that. Okay, so that's module 1.2. Let's go back and look at the rest of the module. In module 1.3, again, we begin with the end in mind. Let's take a look at that. Review the final project guidelines and rubric and post any questions to the general question topic. The first milestone is due in module 2. Okay? So please review all the rubrics in the modules and then get started on module 1. And I look forward to working with you. My office hours are going to be usually Sunday and Monday nights, and I usually have office hours from 9 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Yeah. So if you're on another coast or whatever, please keep that in mind. Also keep in mind, I will be happy to make an appointment with you and arrangements to talk to you at any time that we can mutually agree upon a time. Using Google Hangouts. Some people use Skype, but Google Hangouts seems to be more effective. Or over the telephone, I can have a one-to-one discussion with you and map everything out very nicely. Okay? So please keep this in mind as we move forward. All right. And I look forward to working with you, and have a great first week.